Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Elias here from Weekly Wrestling Heat Podcast. We are back with another episode. We got the crew here today.
What
What's
up?
going
What
on,
up?
guys?
What's going on?
Man, a lot to talk about.
Man, it is a lot to talk about, man. Let's dive into wrestling news right quick. Let's just get a little bit of the wrestling news out the way right quick.
Yeah, first things first. My boy Matt Cardona debuting in AEW. I think it was like kind of a forced debut though, and I'm a big right. He looks built as hell. He
Yeah.
got big, but it seemed kind of forced, like the whole coming to save Cody thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked a little bit
Performed, staged. Can we say that? Why would you
it
say
looked a little
staged?
bit awkward at the end because even like Cardona and Cody looked themselves at the end and were like, "Yeah, this works."
Yeah, and like it's weird because Warhorse pushes Cody out of the way and takes the ass whooping, but no one cares about Warhorse at the end of it.
Yeah.
Look, but I will say this. We'll get to it in a story, but continue.
So, man, apart from that, we also have reports that um, WWE is going to start supposedly doing something with failing ratings. And according to the earnings call from WWE this week, Vince McMahon said that they're looking at pushing new characters and also changing up storylines that will attract people to back to WWE.
That's what
Um,
Heyman was doing before you got rid of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but according to the Good Brothers and stuff like that, he was basically what he was doing was just trying to push all the old wrestlers out and just push the new ones, which kind of was the reason why ratings started declining. I mean, if you look at after he left, ratings are on a roller coaster ride with WWE right now. So there's a week that they're good, week that they're bad, week that they go up and they stay
I'll
consistently.
give you that.
Um, so I mean, they're still top 10 in the ratings. So it's like it's not a bad thing. I really think people are making too big of a. I guess they're doing a little bit too much
Because
with
things are how dramatic they're going to be when Monday Night Football starts.
yeah.
Yeah. Them Raiders gonna die. So they trying to keep it afloat right now.
I doubt it. I mean, a lot of supposedly a lot of people aren't watching NFL and stuff like that, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, WWE's been through this before. Every season
Yeah.
every season they go through this ratings drop roller coaster through football season. So it's like it's nothing new to me. And honestly, as long as they stay top 10 it's top 10 in the ratings. I think USA is happy with it. But other than that, I don't think there's more to talk about in the news, or is
Yeah,
there?
Yeah.
so good job, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
We're kidding. All
Yeah.
right, let's. So this week's action has been pretty good this week. I've enjoyed Raw. I've enjoyed Impact. I enjoyed um AW and NXT.
Dude, even
Over
SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown too.
Man, SmackDown was on fire Friday night.
I think we should say one thing we like about SmackDown is one thing we liked about SmackDown too, because I think we're all going to say the bar fight.
Yeah, the bar fight was the
Oh,
highlight of SmackDown.
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be
I
something
did.
else,
I did.
but I had low expectations for it, but it went way above my expectations this past week. They did it perfectly. I thought the ending was good. Man, I as a musician, I was kind of hurt that they messed up all those instruments, but you know, it is what it
Hey,
is.
that bartender looks kind of like Ricky Starks. My dad was saying, and I was like, "Yeah, you kind of right."
He really kind of did.
He looks like Ricky Stark and MJF had a kid.
There you go.
That'll work.
So,
Um, I
um,
actually, I actually really enjoyed on SmackDown the backstage promo between Kofi and Big E too, where they were like, "Yo, you had my back. Now I'm gonna be out for a little bit. It's your turn." And I would love to see Big E take that title from AJ.
I think the most controversial thing that happened, not controversial, but thing that people didn't like about SmackDown was the fact that freaking what's his name won the Intercontinental Championships shot.
Well,
The Grand Metalik.
Well,
Grand Metalik won.
I think what it's going to lead to is AJ's attacking Metalik and Lindsay, and then Big E's going to come make the save. Which, honestly, what you should do is, and this is fantasy booking hat 101. Let me know what y'all think of this idea. You had Big E win the number one contendership. Big E wins the title at SummerSlam. After SummerSlam, AJ does an open challenge, takes out both of these luchadors, and then Kalisto makes his return, and Kalisto and AJ would tear the house down for a couple of shows.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I will say this is going to actually hop into Raw, but Bailey and Sasha have been on fire lately.
They've been putting the W. No, one thing.
Bailey, Sasha, and Britt Baker are so much fun right now.
Dude, they're like the most entertaining parts of dude, even the freaking Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross match. God, that was a good match. Like, I don't
the Naomi promo too. When Naomi was like, "Yo, Miz, you gotta shut up now. I'm taking the mic."
Yeah, that one was actually fire too. Like, and then how she ended up just like pushing Lacey Evans and then just messing up her makeup. That was comedy, but at the same time, it was like I was hoping that one of the Usos would come out and attack I was hoping the Usos would come out, but then I remember that one of them is injured, so it's like that would have been a cool segment.
The only thing I didn't like is now Lacey's a heel again, which I think you need another baby face on SmackDown. You know, just because it's Bailey and Sasha.
Well, you still have Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross.
A lot of people are saying Alexa will probably turn heel in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of baby faces.
I see probably Chelsea Green debuting as a baby face on SmackDown.
Probably who?
Chelsea Green.
I don't know. Did you see her YouTube video? I don't think she's turning face.
Oh well, we'll see. She might be on Raw. I think the women's division on WWE side is stacked right now, so they can make the moves to try to come either, because you also got to remember that turn from Sasha or Bailey is coming as well. So
yeah,
so that's another actual thing that's gonna happen eventually. So we'll see what happens on that one. But jumping into Raw, man, Raw was pretty good this week too. Only thing I didn't like was the whole segment with the I guess the segment where the ninjas come out and that
because Mustafa was having such a good match, you don't need comedy in it.
Yeah, like you didn't need the comedy version on it to actually just like to take away from it. So I thought that was one of the downsides from Raw.
And like, you know what pissed me off about the ninjas and the R-Truth running even more was Mustafa stands for everything the Hurt Business stands for. He's just going about it in a non-aggressive way, where the Hurt Business is going to go about it in an aggressive way. And Mustafa's thing was always like, no, we gotta talk, we gotta open each other's minds. When the Hurt Business's thing is like, no, you disrespect us, we're gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. So I mean, that was I don't know. I don't like the I didn't like the I guess the only thing I could say that I didn't like was the Nia Shayna segment. It felt forced.
Yeah,
It did, but that could be a good opening match for SummerSlam.
No, I agree. I just thought that I think the whole thing that happened, how it happened, I really think that it should build up a little bit more heavier in a sense, which hopefully they will get to the hard hitting stuff.
I think Elias. I think the thing about it is they should have started slow, started small a little bit, and then worked their way up. But the fact that they just jumped right into it, I was like,
well, I think they did. I think they started off slow. It's just the fact that they like the whole brawl thing felt rushed. The match itself was built solid, but as far as the actual match itself it felt kind of the whole brawl.
Didn't your best friend say Shayna was getting written off TV?
Who?
Your best friend, Uncle Dave.
Oh yeah, that I don't pay attention to anything he says anymore. Um, my favorite segment, honestly, on Raw, so we can continue NXT and AEW, was the whole. I know a lot of people don't like this, but the whole build up between Seth Rollins, Dominic, and all that stuff, and Alistair. I don't like how they're doing Alistair. I will say that because Alistair was a badass, but
He's
I'm
teasing a new character.
yeah, he's teasing a new character, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen. But at the same time, I'm actually loving how they're booking Dominic. He looks really good.
And I'm going to completely disagree with what Matt said a couple of weeks ago. Matt said Dominic was looking kind of green. I think Dominic's looking good, bro.
Yeah, no, for him to have, I mean, he has training. He's been training with, like I've been saying, he's been training with Conan, Ray Phoenix. He's been training with Pentagon. He's been training with a lot of these AAA MCMML guys, in California. So it's like he has the in ring experience. It's just about just getting him. In He's been wrestling since he was 18, so he just hasn't had that break into the industry that he needs. And um I think he'll probably end up not being on the main roster, but end up just doing something on Raw to get his feet wet, and then they'll probably send him down to NXT once they feel that the whole program with Seth Rollins and that is done.
And
Um,
honestly, with how Humberto's English isn't all there, he could be a great mouthpiece for Humberto Carrillo going forward, you know?
I agree. I mean, I am enjoying it. Like for him, every time he's been on there, he's selling the moves correctly. I mean, for him to be so quote unquote green, dude is selling this stuff correctly. Dude is actually has a lot of speed. Dude is actually getting it in. I mean, he's invested in his character, which is something rare that you see nowadays in the wrestling industry of having people invested in the characters. So he's invested in it. Will he get the
Yeah.
mask? Maybe he might be the new Rey Mysterio. Or is
Yeah.
he going to
You know
wrestle
what?
without a mask? We'll see. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him in the future, and I hope that they do something positive with him because I think he's getting there. He All he needs is some actual ring time, and he'll be fine.
And
Um,
one more thing on Raw, that Claymore into the table that Dolph took. Oh my god.
that match was nice. I think that was a worthy main event, and people shitted on it because of the fact that it was a Extreme Rules match. But I mean, look at the whole story that's going being told. Like, you know, so now he got even. Basically, McIntyre got even, and what was the icing on top of the cake was the Randy Orton coming out and challenging him, and then at the end of Raw, just him coming out with that RKO just to prove a point. That made the segment even more special because it tied into everything that happened throughout the show to the end. So that I think that match is going to be really nice at SummerSlam.
So
WWE
it was
will
so
never
it's
do.
safe to say that Raw was kind of like an Easter egg, if you will, the whole show. Can we say
Yeah,
that?
it
Yeah,
was to build towards SummerSlam. And they're never
Right.
going to do this, but I think with Dolph's political background, I think if you slowly turn him, I know he's been face and heel so many times, but I think he's the perfect face to go up against the Hurt Business. Maybe go back up Apollo or Mustafa Ali for a little bit, you know?
yeah.
I think he'd be a good fit there.
No, I agree. All right, well, that's Raw in a nutshell and Friday Night SmackDown in a nutshell. Let's get into
What you want to do first?
AEW. I thought this AEW show was lackluster. To be honest with you, me and Matt were watching it the after on Wednesday, and it was just I don't know. The matches were good, but it's just something felt off. Like it
I,
just wasn't
You feel kind of
there.
bland, maybe.
I like the last hour of it. The first hour I thought was very lackluster.
I didn't like. I felt like even the main event felt rushed. Like they were just like, let's get it over with. Like that's how it felt. I'm thinking it's either because Darby Allen of the concussion, so they're trying to protect him as much as they could. But I mean, I didn't see no
What do you mean
protection
by that?
for him.
Yeah,
He was still
don't do a 15-foot coffin drop.
yeah. So, all right, let's get into AEW. The AEW kicks off with the Inner Circle versus the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus with Marco Stunt. Um,
This match seemed way too choreographed for my liking.
yeah, it was too choreographed, too many spots, and I felt bad for Trent because he was the one taking most of the damage throughout the match. Like I felt that I really felt I liked the chemistry with the Best Friends and Jurassic Express, but at the same time, it just felt too choreographed for my liking.
And
Um,
then not to mention Luchasaurus's mask coming almost off halfway through kind of killed the flow there too. And then yeah,
And then also take this into consideration. You had too many people in that ring. What's her name? Referee. What's her
Aubrey.
name?
Aubrey.
Thank you, Aubrey. Oh God, I don't know why I keep getting mixed up with something. Yeah, but referee Aubrey, it was just like she was gonna let him. What could she do? The only thing she could do was just let him go at it. So
And it seemed
But I
like
think that's
Jim Ross wasn't a fan of this either. It seemed like from commentary.
yeah. I
yeah,
think that's one thing that I see that's wrong with AW's tag team rules. There's no real tag team rules there, and it just
basically, like there's no structure.
yeah. There's no structure in the tag team division, so
Which they
every
did touch on that in the FTR backstage thing.
yeah, we'll elaborate more on that, which I think it's a positive that they're trying to do. So, um, but this match, I mean, um, this match basically is a continuation to keep the Orange Cassidy and Jericho rivalry going, and then also the match ends basically when Sammy Guevara was gonna go was on top rope, and then Matt Hardy just appears out of nowhere and shoves him off, and then Luchasaurus hits the hit to the head to the win. This is, I guess, they're going back to the Sammy versus Matt Hardy. Um, I think that I think they're trying to. I liked it better when Matt was trying to convert Sammy into a face. I don't know where they're headed towards this, and it seems that Matt Hardy dropped all his gimmicks and just came back as Matt Hardy.
I think
So
Matt Hardy is the perfect guy to put with Sammy, just because of everything Sammy went through in the last couple of months. And
yeah,
Matt Hardy was at one point very hated, and then he came back after the whole Edge and Lita thing and got the fan support back behind him after he sobered up and everything.
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a good way, but I don't know where they're gonna take this if they're gonna try to break up the inner circle eventually. Because to me, honestly, I think the inner circle has ran its course. So I think that it may be time
Yeah,
to try to either break them up
it's
or try to
time.
find something because
Find
it's
somebody
not
else
there.
to go again.
It's
Yeah.
not there anymore, to in my opinion, which is interesting. But I enjoy the inner circle. They're really good together. I don't know. I just feel that the time that they've been together for over a year, going on to 2 years. So I think it's about time to throw an Easter egg and try to break them up or try to put them through at least a losing phase, which I think they're starting to go into.
I'm gonna even make it even better for you. I want to see more Jake Hager do more, if you will. Sammy Guevara just came back. He need to just go ahead on and get his feet back wet, his little situation. Jericho, I don't know what Jericho want to do. To be honest with you. And as far as Ortiz and whoever, it's just like I don't go after the tag
I
team champions or something. Who knows?
I really think that Santana Ortiz should align with Diamante and Eddie Kingston and Evil East and just create a new version of LAX in AEW. I mean, they're all Puerto Ricans, so it could be the Puerto Rican exchange, so or something. I don't know. I
You and your down south stabilize. Let's go.
hey
Next match.
Basically, blow the whole thing up. I'd say that's what I say.
um goes into afterwards. We go into a segment. John Moxley backstage, and he basically talks about his thoughts about Brian Cage and why he helped Darby Allin and stuff like that, and basically said they he would feel like a bitch if he didn't step back and fight against them, especially after what happened. Then afterwards we go into the TNT Championship match, Cody versus Warhorse, which I really enjoyed Warhorse. A lot of people, it wasn't the best match that I've seen Cody had him in a while, because I think the Sunny Kiss match last week was actually better.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people said the Warhorse match was the worst title defense Cody had. I think the match was good. I just didn't like the end because Cody didn't work on the leg at all.
Yeah,
and then figure four, and it was just kind of rushed to me.
yeah, and I think, and I also put it out there. I think the kid Warhorse, he has a bright future ahead of him. But I felt that he was kind of um, like like a deer caught in headlights, because this is his first time on actual national TV. So I think he felt the pressure from it, and I think that's where the little bit of the shakiness came from. But man, it was a good match overall. I mean, the
I like
Warhorse
the
kid, the Warhorse kid was he countered the figure four, and there was a couple of times where I actually thought that Warhorse was gonna actually win. So it was a real good, it was a decent match compared to it. And at the end, with Dark Order coming out and attacking him, and then Warhorse saving him and then getting beat, and then to everybody's surprise, Matt Cardona shows up and helps fight off the Dark Order. So it looks like there's a new saga with the Dark Order now, with basically trying to basically, I guess the new feud for the Dark Order is gonna be with Cody. So I'm guessing one of the Dark Order guys is probably going to challenge Cody for the TNT Championship eventually.
Yeah.
Man, I'm done with this Dark Order stuff. I think if you don't need the minions to attack, and we're gonna talk about this later, the whole Broly thing. One of the minions couldn't even hop the barricade.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. Like,
What
he was
do you
having
think?
trouble hopping the barricade.
What do you think need to blow up first, the Dark Order or the Inner Circle?
Dark Order, like,
Dark Order.
just blow it up and get it down to Grayson, Uno, Anna Jay, and
Yeah,
Brody and Colt. That's all that needs to be there. You don't need 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You don't need all them.
yeah, because when he said that the Dark Order was everywhere, people just started coming out of nowhere. It was just like,
I don't think he didn't jump. I don't think he missed the jump. I think he miscued. So I think that was a timing issue on the guy's behalf, because he didn't see everybody jump the barricade at the same time. So he held back from jumping the barricade. I noticed that too.
It just looked like Matt said. AEW is still very indie in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
maybe they're just trying to not be WWE. They're gonna try to keep.
No, I think they're. So here's my thoughts about AEW. It's entertainment. They're doing the entertainment portion of it. So they're doing things that people will like the spots, like the coffin drop, like the Young Bucks doing the swanton and the elbow drop from the top of the Titatron. They're doing the big spots that people mark out.
They're doing the Twitter video gifs and video clips. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is how I feel about it. Yeah, that stuff may have worked, you know what I'm saying, when there wasn't the cameras involved. But remember, pressure breaks pipes now. So when now you in front of the camera and you in front of TNT,
it works better with a crowd, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think taking into consider it's entertainment. It's very entertaining, like I said, as far as that. But anyways, back to the show. Afterwards, Tony Schiavone comes out and announces that All Out will be September 8th. Jericho comes out with the Inner Circle, complains about Orange Cassidy. Sammy complains about Matt and Source Revenge. And then basically, we get a rematch between Jericho and Orange Cassidy in 2 weeks. But next week he's challenging him to a debate with a special guest moderator. I don't know who that's gonna be. But then
I think it's gonna be Kurt Angle.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care about that. And then he just complains about his jacket. The the funny moment of this one was just when he asked I think it was Ortiz or Santana, I forgot which one.
Santana Ortiz did a horrible overacting at the end again. It was Santana. He was
So
like,
he asked Santana if it still smells, and Santana's like, yeah, it kind of smells like dog piss. And then he just screams and walks off. And then we go into the interesting segment of the night, which was the FTR contract signing. Basically, on Double A came in, which is another, like I said, it's another teaser towards that faction, the Four Horsemen like faction that they're gonna end up probably doing in the future. But basically, Arn read the contract saying that FTR is trying to implement that 10-second rule in tag team wrestling for them, and they're gonna
the tag rope as well. Yeah,
the tag rope as well, which I think are things that AEW needs in order to solidify their tag team division. Their tag team division is already very good. It's just they need a little bit more rules. And then they're gonna have tag team appreciation night, which will be August 12th, and it'll be hosted by FTR. And then they sign the contracts. Hammond Page comes in with whiskey glasses, and the three of them drink together.
Apparently, cheap whiskey.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Then we go into Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. I thought this match was really good. I thought this match had its high points and its low points. I enjoyed Colt Cabana on commentary.
Colt's always been fire on commentary.
It was really good. Basically, they start off. Hangman Page starts off the match by trying to assault fight the Dark Order guys while Kenny was still doing his entrance. And then Kenny Omega's like, what the hell? And then jumps in the ring and the fighting starts. And then that's when the match starts. They get into a disagreement and then they keep going into the match. I think that this match was really good. The ending was actually kind of like bland because it kind of like felt rushed at the end. But I like the B trigger into the buckshot lariat into the B trigger, the last shot, which was pretty good. Then afterwards, Colt Cabana sends him and Anna Jay to the back, and then basically goes off on Hangman for laughing because Brody started beating up the Dark Order guys with that newspaper, and then all of a sudden, all the rest of the Dark Order comes out, and then the Young Bucks come to the ring, and then FTR comes out and breaks another cooler on somebody, and it just goes back to it. Just basically, and that's the end of the segment. I'm tired of honestly. I'm tired of the hold on.
Okay.
I'm tired of the FTR Young Bucks thing, and they just need to go ahead and make that match because there's no real build towards it. So it's just like they're
holding off for a crowd. They're holding off for a crowd.
Yeah, no. I think that dream match will be dead by the time the crowd comes back.
Monty, what were you saying?
Brody Lee, do something else. Jesus Christ. Like, this character, I'm getting bored with it. Like,
I never thought Eric Rowan could make a storyline more interesting, but fuck, I want Eric Rowan.
Oh, that's funny. I don't know. I feel that
I don't get it. Like, it's starting to become a dead animal now.
I think because I watch BTE, I like the bits that they do in BTE. That's the only reason I kind of still like the Dark Order, but I mean, it's starting to go bland again. It's not there for me at least right now.
Yeah, because didn't we talk about this a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
And honestly, what you could do is right now you have crap, right? So why don't you focus on the Anna Jay stuff a little bit? Leave the men's division Dark Order out of it. Just focus on Anna and Colt, and then you can slowly bring it back in, and maybe we'll care more. I don't know if we will, but maybe we will if we get some Anna Jay wins and some Colt Cabana storyline added.
Or even, you know what? Even better, do some cinematography. type stuff with the Dark Order.
Well, they are, and that's why I said BTE. That's where a lot of the Dark Order bits are coming in,
But
and
it's
they're
what Matt said. You don't get the normal fan like that. You get the
yeah, you
hardcore.
don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
Yeah,
like I think, dude, have them in backstage meetings like Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever. You know, where next week Evil Uno raises his hand and he's like, you know, I let my boss down. He beat me up with paper, whatever, you know, or something, you know. But yeah, whatever. I don't care about the Dork Order. Next,
Then we get man. I honestly thought this was if this match would have gone longer, this would have been a good match. Hikaru Shida versus Diamante.
there was too many boxes for me to like this.
Yeah.
I really think this match if should have gone on a little bit longer. I think Diamante is diamond in the rough. Ironically,
I think they're making that Falcon Arrow look weak over the last couple of weeks, though.
I agree on that one. That Falcon Arrow has looked a little bit weaker.
Diamante was that person she faced that other girl from last week, right?
Evilise, yeah.
Evilise. That's the one I was telling you about. Saying they need to just mess around and become a tag team because they look so evenly matched.
Well, going on to that, of course, Hikaru Shida gets to win, and they announced the tag team tournament. When with the rules of it, which basically is that the women will pick, we'll pick out of a bowl, we'll pick out of the number, the color jar, and then whoever they match with is their partner, and there's no change in it. So, I don't see. I honestly, and I said this on the chat earlier today. I don't see why they're doing this if the women's division is not solidified. If it would like
You
the
bring
women's,
in REIN of all people to hype us up for this. You brought in Cameron.
yeah,
Okay, Brandy and Ali are winning this, right? We still agree.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I don't get the rules, but I mean,
Maybe we'll get some debut tag teams, women tag teams.
Yeah, but it's all on YouTube, so it doesn't even the casual fan's not going to care.
Oh, why would they do that?
Because that's their weakest point, and that's when NXT will probably pick up some more ratings. Because even though AEW won the ratings this week, their viewership went down, but NXT's went up.
So you gonna put the stuff on YouTube? Okay. Continue.
Next segment, Elias.
then we go into the. I thought this was the. I honestly, and this is weird because I don't really like MJF like that, but
Okay.
this segment with MJF, the state of wrestling, was really good. MJF did what he was supposed to do and brought the heat on him. Calling out John Moxley, saying that he wasn't a good champion. That he basically brought out everything that John Moxley had negative to say about WWE, and he was like, everything you said about it, you're living the same thing.
I will say, if this leads to Wardlow getting beat by Moxley before MJF gets his title shot, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen, and they don't know how to book their big men.
Yeah, I mean, the promo itself was really good. Like, he's like he basically is like, I bleed the white, black, and gold of AEW. He's like, I'm the one that's supposed to be champion, and he basically said, he calls him out. He's like, hey, I want a shot at the AEW championship, and basically everything he said was true. I mean, I agreed with it, and it was really good. And this is coming from somebody that really doesn't like MJF. The promo was accurate. He basically went on and just shot the whole like it was I will call it a shoot. Like, this dude went out there and just did a shoot and called it a promo.
He damn near did a pipe bomb, if you really be honest with you. But the thing is, all I got out of it really was, but I understand.
I mean, yeah, it sounded like that, but at the same time, he's right. I mean, I mean, think about how AEW is shifting now. Like they're starting to kind of remind you of WCW in a sense. It's entertaining, but they're starting to rely too much on,
Well,
as much as they give WWE crap that they're saying that, WWE depends on its legends. Look at the people in AEW and look at the people that have been coming in. Like you really don't see no fresh talent, and then the talent that you see is getting the indie talent that's coming in is getting beat by the
You know
established
what it
talent.
you know what it
that
reminds
part
me
I
of,
agree with.
and I said this in our wrestling group too. This reminds me of when Impact had a gold mine with Matt Morgan, but they had him lose to Kurt Angle. They had him basically be Hogan's bag boy. They had him in that match with Sting, Like Matt Morgan's character in Impact was essentially every big man they screwed up so far in AEW.
Yeah, and I think I think it's kind of interesting. I told this to Matt. I was like, I think that the TNT title is has more prestige right now than the actual heavyweight title.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I can say that about AJ with the IC title over the world title too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I think these workhorse titles are the ones that are actually, outweighing the heavyweight titles on both brands. So I think that's what's kind of hurting WWE and AEW in the long run, because they're depending too much on, they're not putting the spotlight that they need to on their world heavyweight titles. I
right.
think the only one that's actually doing a decent job at actually pushing and keeping that prestige to the title is Drew McIntyre with his
Yeah,
title defenses.
yeah, I agree with that part.
Like, we waited almost 2 months, 2 or 3 months to see a title defense for John Moxley.
And then I'm still confused by the Universal Championship. So
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on with that, to be honest with you. So it's
exactly.
like, but anyways, going on to that, then we learned that that Cardona and Cody will team up to face the Dark Order, and then we find out also that more Dark Order face that face FTR, Hangman Page, and Hangman and Kenny and the Young Bucks in a 12-man tag
So
tag match.
we're past worrying about the numbers now. It's just more Dark Order. That's what
Yeah,
we're at.
basically, you basically have two of the Dark Order versus Cody and Matt Cardona, and then you have the rest of the Dark Order versus FTR, Hammond, and Kenny, and the Young Bucks.
Okay, we're done with AEW. I give it a.
Well, we still
I
have
give,
the main event, which is the
oh
John
my
Moxley
god.
and Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks and Brian Cage.
I did
Honestly,
like Ricky. I liked Ricky's promo beforehand. I'll give you that.
yeah, Ricky, the promo that Taz and Ricky did in the beginning was awesome. Ricky is showing how much money he is and how charismatic and how great of a character he is with just doing his promo.
He said he the character that your baby mama want to see.
The match itself started off good. Then it just fell flat a little bit. The ending was kind of surprising. I honestly, my favorite moment of the match was the ending. How John Moxley had Brian in that armbar, and then freaking Darby did the jump off the top rope with the skateboard with thumbtacks on Ricky Starks' back.
Dude, they're taking some bumps in AEW, which you need to save those for when you get the crowd back.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to do what they need to do to get the rating. So, anyways, that's AEW in a nutshell.
I give it a 78.
Yeah, we gave it around 70, 75 when we watched it that night. So, wasn't it
great?
I give it a C minus.
So 74, 75.
70,
Okay.
75, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was one of AEW's not their best shows. Still entertaining. Don't get me wrong.
The promos were good. The wrestling
Yeah.
kind of left more to be desired.
Yo,
But
yo,
that's
Yeah.
why we have NXT.
Lies. We forgot two things. We forgot about the situation with Britt Baker.
Oh yeah, Britt Baker called out
Yeah.
Big Swole, saying that that she's gonna get her back, and then that she's challenging her in order for Big Swole to face Britt Baker, that she has to be opponent of her choosing, which I think it might be Reba.
Yeah.
I think that's too obvious.
So yeah, that was AEW in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Let's move on to
NXT.
NXT. I don't know. Nyla Rose and her still don't get along. So, NXT, man, the show itself had its high points and low points. I thought it had the better wrestling.
I thoroughly enjoyed NXT. I don't think maybe when we talk about it, I'll think of a low point, but right now I can't think of one off the top of my head.
It kicked off with Io Shirai and Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae. I think this was one of the low points that I said the match. It started off, it felt a little choreographed. And then once the match started rolling, it kept getting better. Man, Io Shirai is like, I'm enjoying Io Shirai right now.
Dude, her and Dakota are. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Man.
I don't, fellas. Are we missing something? I thought the key. Continue.
No, you're thinking last week.
You're thinking last week.
No. Continue.
You talking about the promo? Yeah, that comes after. A little bit afterwards. Man, LeRae looked really good in the ring. I can say that Candice LeRae always looks good in the ring.
I think Dakota and Candice should have won this though.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that the match should have gone towards Dakota and Candice. That headbutt that Nox hit on LeRae after they got back from the TV break, because I just watched NXT literally before we started here. Man, it was just action per action. The springboard drop kick on Shirai to Dakota Kai, cover for the 2. Then afterwards, Shirai was going for the Tiger Driver, and Dakota Kai blocks it, and it was just back and forward. The end of the match basically was Io Shirai doing the moonsault on LeRae for the victory. Then Dakota Kai leaves her there in the ring and just goes up the ramp. Then we get which I think they're making it from a actual shoot to a work. We get the recap of what happened with Adam Cole and Pat McAfee.
I don't think it was a shoot, but
I think it was a shoot. I think Triple H did some damage control. That's why he went on the Pat McAfee show to do that. Like even Busted Open was saying that like Mark Henry and Bubba Ray were like, nah, that was a complete shoot. That wasn't no work.
Yeah, but then you got sources like Wrestling Inc. said it's the biggest work they've seen in a minute. So it's good because
somebody called you short.
Yeah, dude, like Cole knows he's short. He's a professional. He's not gonna break equipment. Yeah.
Well, it was more of because I saw the interview. It was more of Pat McAfee just throwing shots at Cole because he's like, I'm one of the greatest NXT champions. And then he's like, no, like Undisputed Era has a lot to do with your success. You couldn't do it alone. And then he's like, and then it just turns into just start talking about him. Like Adam Cole's like, well, you weren't one of the best players in the NFL. And then that's when Pat McAfee was like, well, you're kind of short. So that kind of like Adam Cole hates being talked about, about his height because of
McAfee,
all the stuff.
McAfee, yes, he was a punter, but he was an all-decade player.
And Adam Cole.
McAfee's going to be one of the few special teamers that get into the Hall of Fame, probably.
Yeah, I agree on that. There's no denying McAfee's success in the NFL, but McAfee is also known to know how to push people's buttons. He as far as professional as he tries, he can come off being a little bit of a dick at times too. So, anyways, we get back from there. We get a recap of Bronson Reed winning the triple threat match. Then we get, I thought
the Bronson Reed package.
I like that.
They did real good at. They did a real good job at actually highlighting him, which is one thing that I wish AEW did more on their stars. Because we got to know a little bit more about Bronson Reed, where he came from, how he got into the wrestling industry, stuff like that. His girlfriend paying for his wrestling school, like that stuff there. That was just like that makes you just like get more invested in the person.
I told you, Lies. I told you.
He did. He was on the Bronson Reed bandwagon before all of us. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He was.
Speaking of Bronson Reed, AR got a WWE contract. Or Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff got a
NXT contract. Then we get to what I thought was one of my favorite matches of the night: Johnny Gargano versus Roderick Strong.
That was a decent match. I'll give you that.
God, I love the chemistry between these two guys.
I got a question. I have a question, Lies. So, what is the storyline between these two? Yeah, the match was decent. Don't get it twisted. I like the match, but I'm just like,
Gargano blamed Roddy for taking the pin. He was like,
"Yeah,
right."
So think about last week's episode where I think Gargano had Roddy had done his finisher on. Oh no, Gargano had done a finisher on Roddy, and then while he was going for the pin, Bronson Reed came from the splash from the top rope and won because Roddy's hand was on underneath Gargano as well. So that's what prevented him from actually getting the win.
Okay.
But this match was really good. The freaking man, I can't pinpoint any particular one, but Gargano wins, of course. Then we go to a backstage segment of excuse me. We get a backstage segment with Dakota Kai basically saying, the interviewer asked her why did she leave Candice LeRae in the ring. She's like she's not interested in being a team player, and that she's ready to go for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley walks up and says nah, like she's the Rhea Ripley says that she deserves to be the next one, and then Kai is like, well, let's go to William Regal and see how he feels about that, and then Rhea Ripley agrees, and then they go to commercial. Afterwards, we get a interview of Timothy Thatcher, basically saying how he's going to dislocate Balor's knee and run down next to Loomis. Then we get a little bit of a sneak peek at Undisputed Era possibly splitting up, which I doubt it. But it was basically Undisputed Era fighting against each other. Then Kyle O'Reilly comes back up and gives him a pep talk, says that they need to get back on one track, on one accord, and they all agree and they walk off. Then we get a quick match between Shotzi Blackheart and Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez looks really good.
She does.
I love her entrance.
I love her entrance too. Then having her being part of the Robert Stone brand is pretty good. I like the way how she took the damage from Shotzi Blackheart at first, and then just started going ham on her. It was a good match overall. It was a good match. I mean, they made Shotzi look like a fighter, but they also made Mercedes look really dominant. Mercedes Martinez gets the win, of course. Then we go into the segment where Keith Lee comes out and does his promo. I thought this was a segment of the night, in my opinion. Keith Lee's not smiling, not laughing, comes out, basically says, hey, oh yeah, I forgot. Before that, we get a package about NXT UK's Ridge Holland, which is coming to NXT next week, which is basically dude's pretty good from what I've seen in NXT UK. He's a
rugby player. Yeah, he can go.
But basically, he basically you see a couple of BS bombs dropped by Keith Lee. And he's basically saying that, hey, Double D Dominic Dijakovic is a grown man, and he could handle himself, and he wanted that match, so he wasn't going to step in for him because it was something that Dominic wanted. At the same time, he basically calls out Killer Cross and saying, if you're doing stuff with the way you're doing it, it's done overly extra with so much bullshit. Then he calls out Cross and says, hey, I'm calling you out right now and to disarray, Cameron Grimes comes out and talks mess to him, saying that, hey, you overlooked everybody. You gave away the North American title and you didn't let me beat you. Then Keith Lee just starts going ham on him. Then all of a sudden the lights go out and Scarlett appears on the Titatron. And then I guess Cameron tried to go for his finisher and got a spirit bomb dropped on him. And then man, and then the promo that freaking Killer Cross just came in. He's like, "Hey, like, I'm coming for you.
Give me a title match. I'm gonna keep doing what I was doing."
Yeah. And then basically Lee responds after Cross goes off the Titatron and says, "Hey, anytime, any place, I'll whoop that AWS," and then they go to commercial. Then we get then we come back from commercial and get Imperium versus Everrise. Quick squash match. I from Imperium did look really good. Martel looks really good.
What is Everrise?
I have no idea, but I guess they're the new tag team jobbers.
Which is good. It's good. They don't have a bad look. They look like Matt and Nick Jackson, went to the buffet a little too much. But no, they've been a tag team for a minute, which is good because at least they have some chemistry, So, if anything, just have them lose a lot of matches, and maybe the crowd will get the sympathy towards them.
Yeah. Then afterwards, Martel gets on the mic, and then Undisputed Era comes out and beats the crap out of Imperium.
I didn't understand this, but okay.
It basically goes back to that speech that Kyle O'Reilly said that, hey, we need to be united. And they need to remember who they are and go back to the old Undisputed Era. So that's basically them being Undisputed Era coming out. And afterwards we get William Regal coming on and reminding Lee and Cross that Regal is ultimately the main in charge and that the opportunities must be earned. Then we get to which I thought was another good match. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jake Atlas.
This was really good. I wish Phantasma Stable came out and attacked both these guys after.
I do too. I honestly thought Jake Atlas was going to win to a certain point, and then I saw Isaiah Scott just go ham. Man, that house call and then onto that JML driver. Oh, that was perfect.
I did want Tony Atlas to pull a victory out for some reason. I don't know why.
Dude, so that part where Swerve pushed him and Atlas was laying with his legs on the ropes outside and he got that freaking house call. Ooh.
That was nasty. Then we get after, of course, Isaiah Swerve Scott won, so I'm guessing that Isaiah is going to be the they keep commentary keeps hyping up the fact that that Isaiah has a victory over Santos Escobar. So I think the next challenger for Santos is going to be Isaiah Scott. Then we get an interview with Damian Priest. Basically said he doesn't care who it is, that he's gonna still win the match and earn his opportunity to the ladder match for the North American title. And then afterwards we get basically they announced that Rhea Ripley will face Dakota Kai in a number one contenders match. And then that announced Damian Priest versus Oney Lorcan versus Rich Holland for the triple threat for the spot in the ladder match. And then they announced the NXT Tag Team Championship match between Imperium and Undisputed Era, which I think that match is going to be really good next week.
Do you find yourselves investing in Damian Priest now? For some reason,
I started investing after that Balor match.
Yeah, I've known Damian Priest when he was in the Indies, and he was really good. So,
just wondering.
I'm glad they're finally.
And honestly, and this is me, I would have thought Imperium were the heel, but they get whooped by Undisputed Era.
I think they're gonna add a third tag team into this.
A third man into this?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Breezango or Indus Share or something.
Yeah, I think Breezango might be the next one as well. Then we get into the main event of the night: Dexter Lumis versus Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. I think this match stole the show.
Yes, it
Dude,
did.
the ending to this was
That ending
phenomenal.
was
Yes,
that ending
dude,
was
that flip that front flip that Dexter Lumis did and like literally like made like Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher look at him like, man, this guy is weird. Like just literally ran and did the flip into between them and just stood there. Like the beginning of this match was really good. It's just showing how much of a beast both Thatcher and Balor were, and then just letting Loomis loose was a good idea. Your thoughts, guys?
Um,
I like the ending. Even
the
though
ending, and then also the spot where Thatcher and Balor are beating the hell out of each other outside, and Loomis does that weird crawl right in between
yeah,
them, and they're
yeah,
like,
that
"What the fuck? Go away!"
yeah.
Yeah, no. So ends with Thatcher getting Balor in an
So
armbar, Loomis locking the straitjacket hold, and
yeah,
Thatcher passing
Thatcher,
out, which I didn't
yeah,
think we would see.
I knew Thatcher
I
was gonna
think that the
last
whole
long.
setup to that, I think the whole setup to that finish was good because it came from Loomis having the submission on Thatcher and then Balor doing the coup de grace, then trying to get Thatcher into, I guess, trying to go for Thatcher, and then Thatcher put him in that leg bar.
So
And then
do you think Thatcher should have submitted or Finn Balor?
honestly, I think it was perfect the way they ended it.
I think Finn Balor and Thatcher is the match we're going to get at Takeover.
I think so too. I want to see this match, Thatcher versus Balor, because
And
they
Balor, I don't want him to go back to his old promos. I want him to be like, all right, Thatcher, you want to be a star? I'll make you a star.
I can see that.
I think overall, man, that was pretty. This match was the show of the week. I think this was the match of the week in my opinion.
This and the
Um,
bar fight, yeah, definitely.
well, the bar fight was last week, but this week,
Yeah,
as
but
far as
we didn't record after it, yeah, so.
yeah, but I think this match takes for the match candidate, probably match candidate of the week, um, and then from AEW, I think the promo that MJF did was one of the best segments of the week. Can we take a moment and just like just
Go
just
for it.
like just say how amazing Scarlett is? Scarlett
She
is really good at doing what she's doing. I love her being teamed up with Karrion Cross.
I can see that.
Just her standing there was awesome. But yeah, no, that's it. That's today's show for this. That's the show for this week, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Leave your comment down below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. What's the best segment of Raw? What's the best segment of SmackDown? Best segment of AEW Dynamite? And best segment of NXT in your opinion?
Okay, couple of things before we leave. I think Reina Gonzalez will get involved costing Rhea Ripley. And I think Rhea and Reina will be a takeover match as well. And I would give NXT like an 84, 85, 83 to 85.
Give it an 80.
That's how I was going at it last. I'm gonna give it an 80 flat. Flat.
See, this is why I'm the unbiased wrestling fan. I gave both shows a higher grade than these two did. God, I'm so good at life.
Nah, but I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. A little bit of NXT caught my attention. A little bit of AEW caught my attention.
Honestly, I thought this was a better.
Little,
Honestly, I thought this was a better week for NXT. Last week, of course, AEW took the cake, but this week NXT takes the cake as far as entertainment and wrestling value. I'm enjoying Wednesdays as a wrestling fan, and Impact itself. If you haven't watched Impact, tune in to Impact, please. It's getting there. It's going. It honestly, I think they're gonna give them another couple of months by the time that I guess what's the next pay per view that comes out.
Unforgiven, Survivor Series.
No,
No,
Impact.
no. Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory comes around, Impact's gonna be killing it. I mean, look at the right now. You have Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Ray. Then you
I
have the
called
build
that
up.
match last week. I said that was going to be a good match.
Yeah. Then you have
Kimberly and Deonna tore it up, actually.
Yeah, they did. They did. Then
The
you
Wrestle
have.
House stuff looked kind of lame. Did you think so too?
I think it's gonna get better. I'm still scratching my head at it. I'm trying to watch it like again.
I
Just to
think
see.
Tommy Dreamer will figure it out. He'll figure out what to do with it.
I think Tommy Dreamer is the freaking best thing in that. Him and Rosemary are the best. Best.
I like, dude. A lot of people are sleeping on this dude. John E. Bravo from Impact and Johnny Swinger are money right now, guys.
Yeah. So, and taking a look at New Japan. New Japan starting its tours again in Japan. So, I'm gonna start probably come up once a week and just do a quick show on New Japan and the news that's going on from there. Like I said,
you have fun with that, sure.
So, but yeah, no, that's it in a nutshell. Join us next week as we cover all action in WWE, NXT.
Hey, is Evil married to Kairi Sane? He's the one married to Kairi, right?
No, he's the one married to Io Shirai.
Oh, who's Kairi married to? So he's not a wrestler?
I have no idea.
I don't think he's a wrestler. But
I don't think so neither.
Cool.
Hold on. I'll tell you right now. Let's see if they actually have it. Nope, nobody knows.
All right. But yeah, lucky Evil for having Io Shirai on one shoulder and a title on the other.
3 titles. Yeah.
Hey, remember when Io Shirai was supposed to be leaving the company?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. What happened with that?
Meltzer was wrong again.
Meltzer, you messing up, Meltzer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about him. I'm not gonna give him time of day. Anyways,
I
that's it.
think that's where Angel is. Angel's trying to confirm these Meltzer reports before they come out.
But yeah, no. That's it for this week's show. Follow us on our social media. Follow me. I am Mr. Laredo on Twitter. Follow Monty_dollars and follow Moise H91. Keep following his TikTok. And Moise's TikToks are actually pretty funny. So just a little plug. But yeah, from everybody here at Weekly Wrestling Heat, we are officially out. Peace.